And on the call, he did mention something about Dojo and whether or not it can be licensed, kind of like AWS is.
AWS. Yep, yep. I've always wondered that. But so yeah, what was your take on that?
Yeah. So first, it's best to understand what it is, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm an expert. I
Yep.
don't really know exactly what it is, but on a real high level,
Mm,
they needed a machine that would teach their vehicles how to drive autonomously. Well, they couldn't find a company who would be able to manufacture a chip that they need. So they said, okay, well, in normal Tesla fashion, we're going to do it ourselves. So they went ahead and created this, I guess, what do you call a pack of computers together? What is that thing called? Um,
Pack
like
of
a
computers.
computer, what? It's a bank of a bunch of computers. What is that called? What do you call that?
A bank of computers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, anyway, it's a bunch of hardware that comes together, and
Hmm.
that hardware is ran by a software. And what the software does is it collects the data and it trains itself on the data that comes in. And it just so happens that they're trying to figure out how to, master full self driving. And so that's what that software is doing. And Now the licensing part.
Oh
um,
yeah.
the software is training how to label in a 3D environment. So what is a 3D environment? Look around you. It's everywhere, right? So you can use it
Mm,
to train vehicles on how to navigate on the road. You can use it to train drones to navigate autonomously. Say you have a manufacturing plant that want to move packages from one part of the plant to the next, but you don't want to have any kind of set, something that's controlled by a person. You want it to do it on its own. So you could theoretically hire out this software that Tesla has created, um, provide your data on what the plant looks like, have that software label different parts of the plant, and then train the drones to navigate through the plant autonomously. And as the more data it gets, the more efficient it is able to move packages from one part to the next. I'm sure you can come up with many other ideas on what you would want to operate autonomously. That doesn't have to be full self-driving cars or drone shipping. So
wow. This is. Do we know if, because if it's just a computer that does neural network training, right? It can pretty this can functionality can pretty much be applied to almost anything you can think of, not just autopilot, facial recognition. That is that's AI. Just any way you can think of AI, this is a play. So I feel like this opens up a whole new revenue stream. And in my opinion, if it's what I think it is, or it's kind of what you described, I feel like this could as much be the biggest money maker for Tesla in the future. If it's what I think it is. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, so it all depends on how much that information is worth, or how much being able to navigate autonomously is worth. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that it's worth more than $2. So
I agree.
put a number
I
on it
agree.
however you want. But
I
if you
agree.
think about it, okay, so why is uh, Amazon doing so well? Well, they have a system, pretty much what Dojo is. Um, and I guess Dojo is the name of the hardware pack that they use. I don't know if I mentioned that or if you mentioned that, but it's
Mm-hmm.
called Dojo. And so does Google. Same thing, machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
If you master that, there are going to be lots of companies who want to use that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's just another thing that would add to their revenue. And since anyone who would do any kind of research, you would understand that software revenue has very high margins.
Oh, very high. Very, very high. That's why Facebook is such a cash printing machine right now, because it's pure software. But yeah, I'm really excited to see um where Dojo is headed and the plans Elon makes for Dojo. So I'm sure he has really big plans for it. But yeah, moving on to the automotive, because obviously Tesla, first and foremost, is a car company, right? So as far as, well, technically they're not right now.
As of right
Yeah,
now, yeah,
exactly. So
that
as
part
far
is, yeah, it's cars. They're producing cars right now.
Exactly. So as far as projections for the next few years, as far as car deliveries, what's your take on that?
Well, in the call, he said that the the Model Y will be the most sold vehicle in 2022, maybe in 2023.
Hmm.
Um, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
If
That does.
the most sold platform is usually sports utility vehicles, SUVs.
Hmm. I know
That's
in 2019, I believe it was the Corolla, right? Toyota
Corolla.
Corolla. Yeah, in 2019.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah.
that's a whole other beast.
Mhm.
But it's like Corolla and then a bunch of SUVs.
Correct. That is correct.
And I don't want to say what I think, but this is what he said. He said they'll be able to outsell the Corolla, or
Wow.
at least get close to it, right?
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so if you think about it, this year they're going to sell around 800 to a million vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So they usually sell about, I don't want to get into numbers, but a large majority of that 800 to a million vehicles will be Model Ys. This is before they have 2 additional plants being fully completed.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to say like this is exactly what they're going to do. However, if you look, they've got 2 plants that are in production. They should be done this year, and they also have 2 more plants that they're continuing to grow their capacity. They only sell 4 cars, right? Model Y, Model 3, X,
Yep.
and S, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
planning on selling maybe 1.5, 2 million cars, maybe even 3 million cars by 2023. I mean, you just do the math.
True.
Whatever it is, it'll be more than what it was last year. So, and every year it's going to grow.